you're not typically when you get more kills and more digs and more aces than your opponent, you're typically not getting swept. Um, I, that the thing I was telling the team is that's a match that's really going to do us a lot of good, and those are the things that you're looking for, that I'm looking for in the non-conference is, I want to see what we have and what we've got to get better at. A couple things that we talked about going into the match is we needed to be better than them in in-game situations, and I think they were certainly better at the when they got in the red zone than what we were in those first couple sets. We had some service errors in the first set that really hit us, and then just way too many overpasses. I mean, their ability, I thought defensively they were awfully good in the backcourt. Their littles back there were just making some unbelievable digs on some really great shots, and they were able to win some of those rallies. And then I thought the match kind of got away from us there in the third set. We've got to get, we've got to play together when our back's against the wall a little bit better than what we did. But there'll be a lot of things to learn from. A lot of positives, but we've got that should be something that drives us in practice, because I think the feeling here is, especially for the first couple sets, well, we let it get away. We let both those sets get away from us, and then we let the third set certainly get away from us.
For Mimi and Grace, what is your biggest takeaways? Mimi, you've faced a lot of high-level teams. Grace, maybe not as many, but this is a championship quality team you were playing. What do you walk away saying this is what we have to do to play with teams like this?
Yeah, I think it was fun just to see how, especially in those first two sets, how we competed against, like you said, like that's going to be a good team come December. And it was exciting to see how we can compete against them, especially because we are a newer team. There's a lot of new faces here. So I think, just like Kelly said, like it gives us a lot of things to look at. So when we're getting in the gym come next week, like we know what we need to dial in getting into season.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back to the gym. We learned a lot from this. I think we just have to get through hard things together and just learn from it and just take it away.
For Kelly, the 26 attack errors, more than twice as many as they had. Kind of what do you attribute that to, and kind of what impact did that have in them kind of being able to pull away here?
Yeah, it's we. When you're playing against they've got a great block. Their defense can scrap and make some great plays with control. I think sometimes as hitters you start pressing a little bit, and there's quite a few of those swings that got away from us, I don't know. I'm not out there, but I think sometimes when you're playing against a great team that is defending at a really high level, and you can start pressing as attackers, and but that'll be something that we'll learn from. We'll be able to watch the film and be able to figure out where to put balls in better areas, and they were better at that than we were, certainly.
Kelly, kind of going along with your opening statement, is this the type of match that can show just how fine of a margin there is between being a really, really good team or winning a match like this and not? Because, you listed all the stats, but there's just some little things that if they go the other way, maybe you win both of those first two?
Yeah, I mean that's the game of volleyball, right? And you think about once you start getting into the NCAA tournament and things of just how many sets are decided by 2 points, 3 points. It's a ton, and it requires you to be fearless. It requires you to play together. It requires you to move on to the next play quickly, and matches like that can really, with the learning process, can really help out, and that's. I think everybody, we got a room full of competitors. They're all ticked off, no matter if it's match 2 or 22. They're all irritated, which that's why you recruit them. But there are some things that it's got to, all right, we've got to get better at, because those 2 points or whatever it was in those early sets, you're wanting to be better than your opponent, and we had our chances in the first set. To close that sucker out. And the second set, we made a couple middle mistakes right there at the end that allowed that to go the other way as well. And then I think the first few points of the third set, we seemed like we were there, and then it got away from us. It was a team full of people that were pressing and trying to do too much.
Grace, I know the outcome tonight wasn't what you were looking for as a team, but personally, you bounced back from the other night. What was your approach? What did the lesson you take away from 2 nights ago, and how do you feel you responded to that situation?
I think going into the match, I just got to watch my film, watch what I did wrong, and I feel like that just fired me up to see me, and I'm a visual player, so seeing that and seeing I'm better than that and I can come back even stronger. I think even my teammates firing me up, remembering who are you, you can go out there and bounce back from it. So I think just the teammates, coaches, just everyone, just remember who you are, go back out there and just light it up.
Mimi, 2 questions. First one is, by chance, did you drink a few fluids yesterday?
I drank a lot of fluids yesterday. I did, and pickle juices and electrolytes and bananas. Yep.
Since we didn't get to talk to you after the other match, what was it like when you went out there and playing against Matt and all the coincidences and ties in that match for you?
Yeah, I went out there and I told myself I was not going to make any eye contact with the coaching staff. I was going to put my head down and warm up, and then we're going to play the game, and that's going to be it. I got to see them after, yesterday. I got to hang out with them and catch up, and that was awesome. Those have been my people for so long. They're always going to be such big parts of my life, and, I love them, and it was fun to see them, fun to compete against them. It was definitely weird. Me in red, them in blue and red. It was really awkward, but yeah, it was really fun to see them.
8 service errors from 7 different players. It seemed like there are some service issues too on Friday, especially today a lot in the net. Kind of what do you take away from that, and what do you attribute that to?
I don't know. It's 87% in. Would you like to be, around 90%? Yeah, I mean, that means one more error. We've got some aggressive servers, and there's probably going to be a little bit more. It wasn't the errors. We had some, especially in that first set, we had some untimely errors. It's some big moments that were in the middle of the net that makes it really, really tough. But when those were happening, we were typically coming back and siding out, which is what you got to do. I mean, you can't win it if you're not scoring. If you're preventing your opponent from scoring two in a row. So if you're going to miss it in in-game situations, you better come back and fight for that next side out, which we did a pretty good job with. But we had 15 or 16 more errors in the match than those guys. And although we outpassed them and we had more kills and more digs and more aces, their attackers were better than our attackers out of system. And we gave them too many points with our errors.
Mimi and Grace, you guys are new to the program. There's so many new faces around you. You're still getting know each other, I guess? This is your first loss together. Kelly mentioned that you guys, there's some irritated people in the locker room. What do you expect to happen now? How do you expect to grow from this?
Yeah, I think like Kelly said, everyone's a little irritated. Nobody likes losing, especially on this team. I think kind of like Grace said earlier, like this is a good chance for us to kind of go through the tough together, go through this first loss and really see how we are going to bounce back in the gym, how we're going to come back to our next practice and implement the changes that, we saw tonight and how, we're just going to grow throughout the season and how we're going to do that together as a team and just really, again, help us in the future.
Yeah, we already have a plan on what we're going to do. Like, we haven't even left the arena yet, and we already have, like, plans on what we're going to do after this, like watching film, being in the gym, and all that, and we're going to learn from it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.